This is Darren Sabedra again, Bay Area News Group, Mercury News, East Bay Times, here with Christian Babcock, Nathan Canilao, and Joseph Dycus. We're heading into week 6 of the high school football season. A couple of big games coming up this Friday night that we'll be talking about on our show today. We also have one of our teams getting ready to make a trip across the pond, as they say, as De La Salle is going to be leaving for London on Thursday to play the NFL Academy next Tuesday. So we'll be filming our show early next week so we can get a prediction in on that game. But as we film here on Tuesday morning, it's a little after 11. Joseph Dycus with a little bit of news this morning as El Cerrito, one of our top teams in the Bay Area News Group coverage area, has been without its coach the past 2 games, and Jacob Rincon. And Joseph, you had a story that posted this morning. Why don't you fill us in a little bit about what's going on at El Cerrito?
Yes, for the past 2 weeks, so their games against Campolindo and De La Salle, Jacob Rincon has not been on the sideline. Our reporter, Justice De Los Santos, noticed that when he was at the game. Their interim coach, Tim Johnson, basically said they don't know why he went on the sideline, and they wanted to keep it in-house. And so, made some calls, and sources have said that he is on administrative leave. We don't know why he's on administrative leave, and we don't know for how long. But that's all we know, at least now, on the Rincon situation.
Right, and it doesn't appear that he will be coaching on Friday night. You've tried to reach out to Coach Rincon.
I have.
And also to the West Contra Costa
Unified School
District. You haven't heard back from either of them, right?
No.
So it's a fluid situation. El Cerrito won its first game without Coach Rincon, beating Campolindo, I believe it was 49-0. Mm-hmm. And then last week they lost to De La Salle 35-14. So it's something we'll be following. Unfortunately for Coach Rincon, this is not the first time he's been on administrative leave, right, Joseph?
No, it is not. In 2021, a video came out that was actually from 2019 of a tackling drill that went nationwide in terms of attention, drew outrage from across the country, and he was placed on leave then as well.
But he's been back the last couple of seasons, and this is a program that won North Coast Section championships and reached the NorCal championship games in each of the past 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be monitoring that, see what happens moving forward. We got a couple big games this weekend. Friday night. Well, we have more than a couple, but let's focus on 2 of them that are between teams ranked in the Bay Area News Group's top 10 that came out this morning. Joseph, you're going to be at one of them. Both teams coming off byes, so they should be ready to go, well rested. We'll give our predictions later in the show, but we've got Los Gatos undefeated Los Gatos traveling to East Contra Costa County to play Pittsburg at Pirate Stadium, which should be a heck of an atmosphere.
Yes.
I mean, this is there's nothing like games at Pittsburg. The only thing that's better than a game at Pittsburg is a big game at Pittsburgh, and I would classify this as a big game, or characterize this as a big game. What are you anticipating on Friday night at Pirate Stadium?
I'm anticipating a close game. Last year's game was 37-27 when they played down in Los Gatos. I think the score could be something similar. Both these teams have great talent all over the field. I think Pittsburgh probably has the edge with when it comes to offensive skill positions. Marley Alcantara, great quarterback. And then the receiver who I had written down, I can't read my own handwriting, the freshman, Nathan, that you said has been
Kenny Ward
has been lighting it up. So, but Los Gatos, they seem to be a defensively minded team this year after their great seniors from last year's team on the offensive side of the ball graduated. So really, that's a long-winded way of saying I hope it comes down to the last drive.
Nathan, you've seen Pittsburgh. You've seen Pittsburgh at Pirate Stadium this season. How big of a challenge is this going to be for Los Gatos making the trip from the South Bay to go play the Pirates on Friday night?
I think it's going to be a big challenge. Like Joseph said, I mean, just the talent all over the field for Pittsburgh. You could see even when they're not on their game against Riordan, they still were able to just have so much talent that they were able to, just get a win there. But yeah, I think Los Gatos has gotten off to a good start. And I think the bye week's definitely going to help them. They get an extra week to prepare. But yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. It'll come down to who could control the line of scrimmage better. I think both teams are pretty good in the trenches. So I think that'll be the biggest thing to watch on Friday.
Christian, what are you most looking forward to? I mean, we're talking about a Pittsburgh team that's coming off a respectable showing 2 weeks ago on the road against St. John Bosco, one of the top teams in the country. But Los Gatos has a storied tradition in its own right. Its former coach, Butch Catalico, I'm not sure if he's going to be at the game. My guess is he's probably not. He's probably helping his son coach there in the Sacramento area. But Butch Catalico is a Pittsburgh grad from many, many years ago. So they can call this the Catalico Bowl. But anyhow, Christian, what are you looking forward to out of this matchup?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great test for Los Gatos. I mean, they've been able to get some big wins against some, solid teams, but I think this is the first time really their quarterbacks are going to be tested to this extent. I think they're going to have to make plays through the air to win this game, and I just don't know if they can match what Pittsburgh is going to be able to do offensively, but we're going to find out. So it's going to be a great test for them.
We definitely are. Joseph Dycus will be there. Read about this game in our preview, and also which comes out on Thursday, and then also Friday night. Check out Joseph's game story.
Mm-hmm.
Christian, St. Ignatius, you were at SI last weekend. Friday night they played Salle. Salle had won 14 WCAL games in a row. Hadn't lost, I believe, since the 2021 season to St. Francis in WCAL play. Had a 2-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter, and the Padres weren't able to hold. And St. Ignatius, which 2 weeks ago beat Cathedral of San Diego, a powerhouse down in the San Diego section, which should have told us that, hey, this is a pretty darn good team. Now they've got 2 huge wins under their belt. What are you expecting when SI plays a 5:00 kick, according to Joseph Dycus, who's confirmed that with SI? It's a 5:00 kick on Friday at SI. What are you thinking about this matchup for SI against Riordan?
Yeah, first of all, what a great win for SI, and what a great atmosphere. I mean, it was fantastic. The sun was setting right as the game started. I mean, just a phenomenal game back and forth. Great comeback by SI. The atmosphere was probably the best one I've experienced since I've been here. I mean, just the flood of students onto the field after the game. It was almost a college atmosphere in that sense, where you get the storming of the field. So that was fantastic. Riordan's going to be tough for him. I mean, Sarah's a great team, but I think what Riordan does through the air, I think there were plays to be made last week for Sarah that they did not always hit. So I think it's going to be a different challenge this week for SI, but that team is building momentum week after week. They're a great team. They got a pretty salty defense that's going to give it their all. So I also should mention 2 people, a Sarah fan and someone I believe in the St. Ignatius Athletic Administration, sought me out sort of and complimented our coverage. So we appreciate you guys. And it was great to be there. It was just a fantastic game, fantastic atmosphere. So we appreciate it.
And Justice de los Santos is scheduled to be there on Friday night for the 5:00 game. And I'm guessing the sun will be setting as the game is coming to a close this week, which when the sun sets at SI, it's setting into the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It was great to see.
Nathan, you've seen Riordan. They put up a lot of points in a loss to Pittsburgh. How many points are they going to be able to put up against this SI defense?
Well, it's tough to put up, I think it was 42 points against Pittsburgh. I think that's a tough feat in its own. So I think something similar. I think they'll put up 35. I think it'll be 30 plus. Their offenses, with their offensive line and just the skill positions, it's so hard to stop Riordan when they're going. So I think we're looking at 30 plus points again for Riordan.
Joseph, I'm not sure if you were at the Riordan SI game last year.
No.
You were not, but it was competitive, right, at Riordan? And
it was a high. I want to say the Riordan running back either ran for 5 or 6 touchdowns in that game.
Okay.
Yeah.
You expect something similar this game?
I don't want to give my pick away, but
don't give your pick. But I mean, do you expect it to be high scoring?
No, I actually don't expect it high scoring because I think St. Ignatius will do everything it can to hold the ball, keep the ball. They have a good running game. They have a good defense. I don't think they're going to try to limit the amount of possessions that Riordan had. I don't think it's going to be. I don't know if Riordan gets 35 in this game.
Okay, well, can't wait to hear your pick. Real quickly, Joseph, you got a story coming out later this week or early next. I can't remember when we're posting it, but it's going to be some of the things to look out for as De La Salle makes its trip across the Atlantic to play NFL Academy at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. This is unprecedented for a Bay Area school to be traveling out of the country, and not just out of the country. I mean, they're going overseas.
Yeah.
So what give readers or viewers here a sneak preview of what to expect in your story?
So they are bringing 90 is the traveling party. So they're bringing their whole varsity, several parents, coaches, etc. They have a packed itinerary when it comes to their sightseeing. They're gonna try to hit
You tell us all about it in your story.
All about in the story. They're going to be training at a Division 7, I believe, soccer field, Cheshunt FC, which is a few miles north of London. And then they're going to be playing the game at, I believe, 10 a.m. Pacific time.
6 p.m. there.
6 p.m. there, though.
Yes.
And Tottenham Stadium, which, by the way, I want to say, I don't know how many soccer fans watch this show, but I do think it's funny that De La Salle, a team known for winning trophies, winning titles, winning everything, is playing in a stadium of a club that is infamous for not having any sort of trophy, any kind of championship, or any sort of history for the last 100 years. But anyways, I think it'll be a great game, but it's kind of hard to tell what kind of talent NFL Academy has, just because they don't play a lot. They don't play a ton of American competition.
All right. Well, we're going to find out. Let's get to our picks, and we're going to speed through them. We're a little bit over on the intro, but we got 15 games to pick, starting with Berkeley San Leandro at Burrell Field in San Leandro on Friday night. I'm going San Leandro to take down Berkeley. Lefkow's going San Leandro. Joseph, who you got?
You know what? I like Berkeley in this matchup.
All right. Nathan.
I'm taking San Leandro. I think them coming off a bye. They played Foothill really close. I think their last game, so I'm going to take San Leandro in this one.
Christian.
Yeah, both teams kind of been up and down this year. I think San Leandro at home gets this one.
All right. Saratoga, a team that won last week's you pick the game we cover poll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saratoga.
Yep.
They took down Mills last week. They're going to be traveling to Monte Vista, a team that Christian covered a couple of weeks ago. Saratoga at 4-0, Monte Vista at 3-2. We'll let Christian start first. Christian, who you got?
Yeah, Saratoga is kind of rolling right now, and I think they're going to continue that. Monte Vista's got some nice pieces, but I think Saratoga has been kind of rounding into form, and they'll have what it takes to get this one on the road.
Nathan, will let Saratoga go to 5-0 this week?
Yeah, I think so. I think Saratoga's been rolling, and they have a good running game. I'm going to take Saratoga in this one.
Joseph?
I hate to doubt Coach Caesar, Coach Prime, Agront, but I'd like Saratoga in this matchup.
And it's a clean sweep because Lefkow's taking Saratoga, and I'm taking Saratoga. And for those of you wondering where the heck are the Cal Prep scores, they're not up. They're not up. Cal Prep's had a dispute with Max Prep / CBS, I believe, earlier in the week. And that issue has been now resolved, but the website is not up. It will be up by the football weekend, according to Cal Preps.
Yes.
So no predicted scores for Cal Preps this week. Next game on the list, Murrow Catholic at 2-3, traveling to Union City, short trip from Hayward to play James Logan, 1-4. I'm going Murrow Catholic. Lefkow's going Murrow Catholic. Joseph, who you got?
I hate to agree with you guys, but I'm going Murrow Catholic.
Nathan?
Yeah, I think it's going to be closer than people think, but I'm still going to go Murrow Catholic to win this one.
Christian?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Murrow. They just got a big win over Berkeley, and I think they keep it rolling this week.
All right, next game on the list is going to be close to where Joseph lives. It's Piedmont at home, 3-1 for the Highlanders, playing Doherty Valley at 2-3. 7 o'clock kick there at Piedmont. Let Christian start. Christian, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going with Piedmont in this one. They've had some pretty impressive results in the early season, and I think they're going to take this one at home.
Nathan?
I'm agree. I think I take Piedmont here. I think they have a lot of talent. I'm going to take this one at home as well.
Joseph?
Piedmont.
Me, Piedmont. Lefkow, Piedmont. And I got the nickname right, right?
Highlanders, yes.
Yes, there you go. Game 5 on the list. This is a tough one. San Mateo at 3-1 against Milpitas 3-1, both from the PAL Ocean Division. I'll let Lefkow and I start first. I'm going Milpitas. Lefkow's going Milpitas. Christian, who you got?
Yeah, I saw Milpitas earlier this year, and they kind of struggled against Santa Teresa, which is an excellent team. But they've rebounded since then. They've been playing well, and I think they're going to win this one.
Nathan?
I'm also going to go Milpitas. I think, they've just been rolling since that Santa Teresa loss, so I'm going to go with Milpitas here.
Joseph?
You know what? I'm going to go with San Mateo. We can't have us agreeing on our last, 3 games. You know what? I'll be different.
You might get a win.
Might get a win out of it.
All right, game 6 on the list. Del Norte. Is it Del Norte or Del Norte?
Del Norte.
Del Norte, that's what they call it up there.
Okay. Well, anyhow, they're traveling all the way from pretty much the Oregon border, Crescent City, right, to play at Oakland Tech on Friday night. Oakland Tech at 1-3, Del Norte at 3-2. Joseph, I'll let you start.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Del Norte.
Okay. Christian?
Yeah, well, I've been to Crescent City about 10 years ago, and it's a gorgeous place, but they do not have a large population base. So I wonder if they can stand up to what Oakland Tech is going to bring to the table. And I don't think they can. So I'm going with Oakland Tech.
All right. Nathan?
Well, we had a similar matchup. I think this was 2 weeks ago with Oakland, I think, playing Arcata. And if it's one thing I learned about those teams from up north, they did not come, 5+ hours to lose. So I'm going to go with Del Norte here.
And I'm going Del Norte, and Lefkow is going Oakland Tech. So you get that, Joseph? Oakland Tech for Lefkow, Del Norte for me. So game 7 on the list, Branham at Lincoln San Jose. This is a BBAL Mount Hamilton Division matchup where Branham's coming off a tough loss to Christopher last week. Competitive in the first half, faded in the second against Lincoln San Jose, which I believe lost to Live Oak last week, right?
Yep.
All right, I'll start it off. I'm going to go with Lincoln to bounce back and to knock off Branham. I'll let Joseph go next.
Yeah, I think Kevin Collins and them are going to bounce back.
You're taking Lincoln?
Mm-hmm.
Nathan?
I'm going Branham. I think Branham's just they have so much talent. I'm going to take Branham here.
Of course, the Branham guy picks Branham.
Christian?
Yeah, I just saw Branham, and they gave Christopher a pretty good game for about 2.5 quarters. I mean, Branham's got a lot of guys, and I think they got, pretty good scheme, good coaching. And I think this is a game where they maybe sort of start to put their stamp on who they are in the A-League. So I'm going Branham.
All right, and Lefkow is also going Branham, so 3-2 on that one. Game 8 on the list. It's Acalanes making the short trip over to Benicia. Benicia at 2-3, and Acalanes 3-2. Acalanes coming off a tough loss to Amador Valley last week. I'll start. I'm going Acalanes. Lefkow's going Acalanes. Nathan, who you got?
I like Acalanes in this matchup. Benicia's playing much better, but I like Acalanes' offense in this matchup.
Christian?
Yeah, I think Acalanes is a pretty good team to begin with, and they're probably going to be pretty salty this week. So I think that's going to carry the day.
Joseph?
Yeah, I'm going Acalanes too. I think that loss to Amador Valley isn't as bad as it looks on paper. I know Cal Preps is really high on Amador Valley. So, yeah, I think Acalanes wins this one.
All right, game 9 of 15 on the list is Christopher at 4-1. Christian saw them last week, taking on 4-0 Santa Teresa. Christian, you're going to be at this game. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing how it unfolds because this is a really, really intriguing matchup. I'll let you go first. Who you got?
Yeah, I've said before, on this show that certain games are a coin flip. This might be the closest of any of them. I could see this game going either way. I really could. Both teams are excellent. They're loaded with excellent players on both sides of the ball. Little tease, Santa Teresa also has an excellent kicker.
Yes.
We'll get back to that later. But no, this is going to be really close. I've seen both teams. And I just think Christopher's going to win this one. I think what they have at quarterback and also just throughout the skill positions is going to carry it for him. But I mean, it's pretty close to like 51-49. I could see either team winning this game for sure.
Nathan.
Yeah, I think Jackson Robinson is going to be the difference in this game. So I'm going to take Christopher to win close.
All right, Joseph.
You know what? I'm going to take Santa Teresa to win close, and they're going to ride off in the sunset after the Cowboy kicker kicks the game-winning field goal. You heard it here first.
How long on this kick?
40.
40.
Yeah.
40. You're not going to go 45 or 50?
No. No.
We need a 60-yarder. We need a 60-yarder.
No.
All right. I'm with you, Joseph. I think Santa Teresa is going to go to 5-0, and they're going to win a nail biter over Christopher. I like Christopher. I like Jackson Robinson, their quarterback. He's tall, right, Christian?
He is. He is one of the few people I've met who may be taller than I am. So, yes, he's quite tall.
There you go. Lefkow's taking Christopher. So we've got Lefkow for Christopher, Christian Christopher, Nathan Christopher, Joseph, and I are taking
Santa
Teresa. Game 10 on the list is Live Oak at 1-4, coming off a big win over Lincoln. Be making the trip to San Jose to play Lee. Lee's at 3-2. I like Lee in this game, playing at home. Lefkow likes Lee. Christian, who you got?
I'm kind of feeling Live Oak. I mean, I picked them to win the Mount Hamilton, and they had a pretty tough non-conference schedule, played some really good teams. I think they're starting to get it going. I think they're going to get this one.
Nathan?
Yeah, I agree. I think Live Oak is much better than their record says. So I think they're going to get this game. They got the game last week against Lincoln. I think this game will be another statement game for them.
Joseph?
Wow, I thought we'd be a lot more high on Lee. I'm taking the Longhorns. By the way, shout out to whoever runs the Lee social media account for posting updates on their games as it's happening.
And tagging.
We appreciate that.
It's a beautiful
to do that.
Beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing when they type in the names of the guys who scored.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you enough how much that helps. So I'm going Lee and Joseph's going Lee. So
look at us.
See. I don't know if I feel good about that since I'm looking at your spot in the standing.
Yeah. Anywho, let's continue.
All right, let's continue with game 11 of 15 on the list. San Lorenzo taking on Ignacio Valley. Nathan, great job on Ignacio Valley's update and to lead off our Monday morning lights this week. Coach Ray Jackson has something working there with the Wolves over in Concord, right next door to De La Salle. I thought beating that, was it Redwood Christian, which was its first season of varsity football, I thought that was going to be the shining moment of the YV season. Clearly that was not the case. They've won 2 more games since then. They've now got 3 wins. They come into this game at 3-2 against San Lorenzo, 2-2. I'm going to see what we got here. If we're going to go clean sweep, Nathan, who you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going with YV. I think Jalen Fayad, their quarterback, their freshman quarterback, has been playing phenomenal. I don't think he played the first game against Alameda, and he's been playing ever since the second. I mean, he's only had, I think, 2 losses. So they've been well. They've been doing really well. I think they get this one, and it's their homecoming game. So I believe they're going to get this one.
All right, Christian, who you got?
Yeah, I was looking at the schedules, and San Lorenzo pretty much handled Redwood Christian. YV kind of snuck by him, but since then, YV's been building momentum. I mean, they had a huge win last week, and I think they're going to win this one at home.
Joseph.
Yeah, I think YV wins. I think it'll be a close game, though. I mean, I don't think anyone's taking YV lightly anymore. I think San Lorenzo's gonna. What did Ray Jackson say in your story?
They're scouting.
They're
Teams
scouting
are scouting now.
Yeah, for the first time in his 3 seasons, he's seen coaches scouting his team, which I think is
ultimate sign of respect. Coaches are scouting them. I'm taking YV. Lefkow's taking YV. So that is a clean sweep for YV.
This might be, let me say this is the first time in Pick'em show history that YV not only has appeared in the Pick'em, but has unanimously been picked to win.
Very impressive. I'm not sure YV was on the Pick'em show the last couple of seasons. But that's a good comment, though. 4 more games on the list. Let's go through them real quickly, although some of these are really, really big. We got, speaking of big, the Battle of Pleasanton, Amador Valley, which I believe lost a heartbreaker to Foothill last season.
They did.
Coming in at 2-3. They're going to be traveling across town to play Foothill at 3-2. I had a hard time with this one, but I'm going to go AV. I'm going Amador Valley to win. Lefkow's going Amador Valley. Joseph, who you got?
I saw I saw Foothill last week. Very talented, but I think Amador Valley is a little bit more talented. And that game they lost to Foothill, that was Foothill's only win last year. So Amador Valley wants to avenge that, I'm sure.
Nathan.
Yeah, being from the Tri-Valley, I know Foothill, for some reason, they just get up for this game. But I think Amador is going to get the revenge. I think they've lost the past couple seasons, so I'll take Amador in this one.
Christian?
Yeah, I'm going to go Amador. I mean, they just beat Acalanes. It's a huge win, and I think they got the goods to get this one on the road. Short trip, so that shouldn't be a huge impediment for them.
Game 13 on the list is St. Francis traveling to Mitty. I believe this is Mitty's one home night game per season. They get to play under the lights on their home campus once a year. It's either against St. Francis or Bellarmine. This year, I believe it's against, it's this Friday against St. Francis. Both teams are 3-1, but man, we were right in the Mitty wave last week, and boy, that just crashed, and our surfboard went flying, and we were dunked underwater, and feet were like looking up at the sky. It was bad.
It was bad.
Mitty coming off a 47-7 loss to Valley Christian, which, according to Glenn Reeves' story, got some players back who were injured. Valley, if they're healthy, they might be as good as anyone in the WCAL.
Yeah.
Oh my God, 47. I'm Christian. When you saw that score, 47-7 over a Mitty team that you have covered, what'd you think?
I thought something has gone very wrong on the hill. So yeah.
Or gone very right, depending on who you're.
Yeah, sure. Well, I guess I shouldn't be rooting against teams with my name in them. So
There you go. Well, speaking of teams with your, who are you going first in this one between St. Francis and Mitty?
I think I'm going to take St. Francis. I'm not sure Mitty's seeing a running back like Kingston, Canilao, and I think St. Francis is going to take this one.
Nathan?
So I was rolling with the Mitty train the last couple weeks, and I'm getting off now. So I'm taking St. Francis.
Joseph?
Yeah, I am also taking St. Francis, but considering every time we think it's going to be a close game, it's a blowout. Every time we think it's a blowout, it's a close game. Who knows? Maybe Mitty keeps it close. Maybe it's one of those grimy, gritty Mitty type games where it's 14-10.
Lefkow's taking St. Francis. I'm taking St. Francis. But I said last week that the games between Mitty and Valley are typically nail biters, and obviously I was dead wrong on that one. This matchup here is typically a nail biter, including. Remember when Mitty beat St. Francis to make it to the CCS Open Championship game a couple years ago?
Was that 2-point conversion and like overtime?
Something like that. It was crazy. So I would expect Mitty to be much more fired up and ready on Friday on their home turf, but I think St. Francis just has too much. 2 more games on the list. They're both huge. Talked about them earlier in the show. Can't wait to hear your guys' picks. It's Riordan at 2-2, traveling to SI 3-1. I'll start. I'm going Riordan. I just think SI is obviously a very solid team, but man, the emotion of last week and then having to get ready for an unusual kickoff time at 5:00 on a Friday, even though it's at home. I just think kids being kids, the emotion too high for SI after last week. I think they come down a little bit, and that's going to be enough for Riordan to take this one. Lefkow's also taking Riordan. I'll let you go next, Christian.
Yeah, I touched on this earlier. SI has a good defense, but there were open passes to be hit sort of in the, mid-range and down the field. And I think Riordan's going to hit some of those. I think that's going to be the difference. So I'm going with Riordan.
Joseph?
Yeah, I'm going Riordan too, but I don't think it's going to be 35-31. I think it'll be something more like 21-17.
Nathan?
I'm taking Riordan. I think they actually win this one pretty big. I got them winning 42-21. I think their offense just going to be too much for St. Ives.
Okay.
SI.
Sorry.
SI. All right. We have one last game on the list. It's Los Gatos at 4-0, traveling to Pittsburg 3-1. As we said earlier, Joseph's going to be there to see this matchup, which has been circled on the calendar since the schedules came out. Since you're there, Joseph, I'm going to let you go first. Who you got?
I went back and forth on this one. You know what? I think Los Gatos goes up to Pittsburgh and pulls off the upset. Maybe Pittsburgh's a little rusty after their bye week, although Los Gatos just came off a bye week too, so not quite logical. I don't know. I think Los Gatos pulls the upset.
Nathan, you agree?
I do not agree. I think Pittsburgh wins this one pretty easily. I just think the talent gap is too big, and I got Pittsburgh winning at least by 10 points.
All right, not the 21 that you have Riordan beating SI by.
No, but this one's a little closer. I think Riordan, that's a different case with that offense, but this one is going to be, I think it's going to be a pretty dominant win for Pittsburgh still.
Christian?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pitt too. I think, sort of like the last game we talked about, Pitt, they got everything offensively and they can make plays through the air. And I think Los Gatos can make a couple, but I think it's just sort of a stress test. And eventually Pittsburgh is going to take over this game.
All right. I've got Pittsburgh winning as well. Lefkow's got Pittsburgh. So that Joseph, you're either going to make up some ground or fall further behind.
Last week, you guys made fun of me for picking St. Ignatius. I was the only one who picked them.
True.
Okay. Take that victory lap. Okay.
That was nice.
I should point out the Sarah fan who complimented me noted that one person picked St. Ignatius. So congrats to you, Joseph, on being the rogue wildcat in our midst.
After like 3 years here, I finally hit on one of the shoot the moon type picks. So.
And Christians quickly discovered that people watch the show.
Yes, yes, we appreciate y'all watching, and it's always fun to hear from you. So we appreciate it.
All right, check us out, mercurynews.com, eastbaytimes.com. Sign up for that digital subscription as we roll into October. We've got more than just football coverage. We've got some volleyball rankings out, water polo rankings out. We have a nice Friday notebook we call the Spotlight, where we shine some of the light on non-football sports, which there's a lot going on, and those athletes deserve recognition as well. And then we'll have football coverage throughout the weekend. Be sure to vote on the Athlete of the Week poll and the game. You picked the game for us to cover poll. All right. Anything else, guys?
I'd just like to say I went on a book buying spree in Berkeley. Finally bought Friday Night Lights. I might be the only sports writer in America who has not read this book. So give me about 3 weeks and I'll tell you guys how I feel about it. Also, I did buy another copy of Naruto, but that's besides the point. We shall see if this book lives up to the hype that everyone says it does.
35 years later, Joseph comes in with his review of Friday Night Lights. So
hey, no spoilers, guys. No spoilers.
No spoilers. You guys have anything else to top that, Christian or Nathan, before we close? Christian?
I don't know if I can top that, but I was just circled back to St. Francis Mitty. We were talking about how it's going to be close. I would not be shocked if this game is under 2 hours. Both these teams really like to run the ball, so that'll be quick. Also, Los Gatos, Pittsburgh. How often do you see two teams matched up, both wearing black and orange? That's pretty rare.
They're tipping their cap to the San Francisco Giants.
Yes.
Nathan, you want to close? You have anything?
Yeah, I'll shout out Heritage High, who they got a big win over Livermore last week. And I talked to Coach Fogelstrom, and he very much thinks that this is one of his better teams. So maybe that's a under the radar team that might make some noise come playoff time. So we shall see there.
Might be a sneak peek to this week's Monday Morning Lights.
Yeah.
We have an item on that. So anyhow, that is a wrap. Again, check us out, mercurynews.com, eastbaytimes.com. Thanks for watching.